my goodness, I'm so excited to be back with you and back with all of us.
So glad that you're back.
Thank you.
So we missed you.
Oh, thank you. That means a lot. Well, we're so happy that you've decided to join us today. Welcome to Three Themes Live, where theme number 1 is something to smile about, theme number 2 is something to learn, and theme number 3 is something to discover. Let's go. Hi everyone, welcome to Three Themes Live. I'm Kris Thurgood here at my girlfriend's quilt shop, and I am so excited to be back in the studio this week. We have a really fun week of shows planned for you, and it all has to do around the theme Dessert First Quilting. Any idea what that might mean? Well, if you're a quilter and you've been one for a while, and you love pre-cuts, you know exactly what I'm talking about. We're talking jelly rolls, layer cakes, you name it. Honey buns, yep, we got that too. So let's go ahead and get started with all the fun, shall we? Yes. I am so happy to have not only Jackie with me today, but we have special guest, Amy Smart.
Hi, Yay! It's so fun to be here.
Oh, Miss Diary of a Quilter. Yep. How are you?
Good. It's so fun to be here. So fun to see the new studio.
Oh,
it's beautiful.
yes.
See it in person, I should say.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, we're so happy to have you. So before we get started with all the fun, did you guys catch the Super Bowl last night? Yesterday afternoon?
Some of it.
Some of it.
I got so bored of it. Yes, I go, I know.
Depending on what team you're rooting for,
Yeah.
maybe it was like...
It was a great time to bind quilts.
Yeah,
I sat and bound 2 quilts.
Did you?
Yeah.
So yours was more like a super sew weekend,
yeah,
right?
I wasn't super invested in anyone,
right?
So I didn't.
Right.
So it was okay either way.
It was just entertainment.
Well, let's be honest. I don't even have time. No thanks. But I do love the commercials.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I agree.
My husband told the kids they could talk during the game, but not during the commercials.
Exactly. That's right. Did you have a favorite one?
You know, my favorite, probably no one was still watching the game by this point. Actually, there were 2. I loved Harrison Ford with the Jeep.
Oh, well, I mean, it's Harrison Ford. Come on.
Yes. I was still binding by then, so I got excited. And David Beckham, I always love when David Beckham makes an appearance.
Yes,
I enjoyed that.
I agree. Okay,
well,
Jackie?
The one that was kind of interesting was the seal, where the face, the Mountain, I think it was Mountain Dew.
That kind of bothered me.
That was my kid's favorite.
I was a little bit taken aback when I saw his face on the seal, and I'm like going, okay, that's weird.
Yeah, that one creeped me out a little. Yes, for sure. I'm not going to lie. I'll tell you the one. Do you ever cry during commercials?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Right here, right here,
yes,
right?
Really good.
So the one that got me was the Google Pixel Play, and it was with the father and the daughter.
So cute.
Growing up.
Yes.
Like, kill me now.
Yeah.
I mean, it was so beautiful. But anyway, you gotta love a good commercial.
Well, and I love the one with the hate, with Snoop Dogg.
Yes,
and,
I love that.
That was a real, that was really cool to have that kind of thing. I think we need to hear it more.
An important message.
Yes. You guys have to tell us in the comments what was your favorite commercial from yesterday, because very, very interesting.
Really
and you saw all different kinds. Betty
the potato.
Jo, the potato.
Yes, I remember that one too. That one was cute.
Yes, that was so sweet. It was so cute.
Yeah. That one was really cute.
That was really sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Well,
makes me want to grow a potato. Honestly.
Almost.
Yes,
or appreciate what it takes to grow a potato.
Yes, exactly. Well, some of those commercials, when I thought about, I would love to be a fly on the wall and sitting in that boardroom with the marketing team and everything and deciding how you do it. But it actually reminded me, maybe it's because I have stories on the brain, but I hope all of you are following along with our whole Stitch Your Story idea going on this year, because some of those commercials really did tell a story, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
And they took us back to our childhood. And so many of you have been so sweet and kind to Kim and I this week as we were we had a pretty rough week hearing about our dad and the things that he was going through health-wise, but it definitely reminded me of the importance of sharing stories.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
I hope all of you are participating in that.
Yeah.
And just as a reminder that this month's theme is freedom. And I have to tell you, if you have ever been a caregiver or a loved one of someone who is battling any kind of illness, but especially someone with dementia or Alzheimer's, freedom this week for me took on a whole new meaning.
I agree.
Yeah.
100%.
So I think I now have what my story block is going to be. I'll have to share it with all of you here in the next little while, but definitely. So we can't wait to see what you're making with your freedom blocks. Please, please, please share with us on Friends of My Girlfriend's Quilt Shop page, and so that we can all cheer each other on and learn a little bit more about one another. So this week, like I said, we're talking about dessert first, and I think for sure you can't think of a pre-cut without thinking of probably the most common, which is the jelly roll.
Right.
I don't know, that a lot of people have referred to.
Yeah.
So, Amy, tell us a little bit about your experience with, designing quilts and how pre-cuts took a change for you in design.
Well, and it's so funny you bring that up because I was just thinking about this on my drive up today, and I remember working in a quilt shop probably like 20 years ago when we got our first sets of pre-cuts. I knew about, there were fabric collections.
Yeah.
And then so smart to get these pre-cut pieces of the whole range of fabrics in one place. And they're so smart, so usable.
Yes.
And so I think it came from working in the shop that I learned I wanted to help people when I design patterns be able to use those pre-cuts. Like, we love collecting them because they're so pretty.
So pretty on the shelf.
They look so pretty. And they're such a beautiful, especially for someone who maybe feels intimidated by choosing fabrics.
Yes.
It's so nice to get this perfectly curated collection of color palette and scales and mix of blenders and big prints. The pre-cuts make it so simple.
Yeah.
To get a whole range that's perfectly curated together. And so I love writing patterns.
Do you base a lot of your patterns on pre-cuts?
I do.
Yeah.
And I brought a bunch today. I'm excited to share them because they're I love designing quilts that allow you to use your stash. I love that that's kind of part of what you're focusing on this year.
Yes.
Of cleaning your organizing, all these things. So I hope this will be some inspiration for using some of your favorite
I have a feeling
things.
that probably a lot of our audience out there have a whole bunch of pre-cuts just on that shelf, and they're waiting for the perfect pattern to use it for.
I know.
Yeah.
Good. Or you just save them because you love them so much.
They're so pretty.
You don't want to
untie that bow and it looks so nice right now.
Yeah, I think so too. So, Amy, your pattern company is called Diary of a Quilter. Tell us where that name came from.
So I came when I first started writing a blog back in the days when blogs were a new thing, kind of the late 2010s. I started writing in 2008.
Wow.
And I had discovered other people share. It was kind of pre-social media, pre-Facebook and Instagram, and people were sharing what they were creating on blogs. And so I just named mine. I was not feeling super creative, and I just said, well, this is like my diary. So I'm just going to share what I'm creating. And that's how it evolved.
Clever.
Yeah.
I do. It fits perfectly with what you do.
Oh,
It really does.
I share less about like day-to-day minutia. Kind of back in those days, like, here's what I had for breakfast.
Yes.
Like, nobody cares about that. It's now very focused on quilting and tutorials, and I really love empowering beginning quilters, like teaching them tips that will help them feel successful.
I think that's probably one of my most favorite things about you and your patterns is that you really do make these beautiful quilts seem very doable.
Good.
And I
That's my
think you
hope.
are an excellent instructor
thank
as
you.
well.
Thank
so
you.
I
That
think
means
a
a
lot
lot.
of us have learned over the
Oh,
years
yes.
from Diary of a Quilter.
Yes. Well, and I love
you.
your ideas. I mean,
Yes.
Oh,
and
thanks.
you're so good at sharing
Thank
from
you.
other people, and you know, and kind of, it's just been great. I love to
Yeah.
read.
Oh, thanks so
kind
much.
of building a
Thank you.
community, right?
Well,
for
that's
her?
you're so good at that too,
Yeah.
and the quilting community is so
Yes.
awesome.
Yes.
So many wonderful people. It is fun.
And you now have your own fabric lines.
I do.
Tell us about that.
I've been designing for Riley Blake Designs for, gosh, since 2017. I
Wow.
can't
Wow.
believe it. I just
That's
had, now I have
wow.
to count in my head. Six. I just had my
didn't
sixth
realize
collection
that.
came out about a year ago, and then I'll have another one this fall.
Oh my goodness. What's the most favorite part of designing fabric?
You know, I'm kind of selfish because I like designing what I want to sew with.
Yes.
But I'm always happy
Nothing
when
wrong with
other
that.
people enjoy sewing with it too.
Yeah.
And I like to tell my story. I mean, I love your Stitches story because that's kind of what I've done with my fabric collections is taken a little part of my story, my
Yes.
life experience. Like my
Yeah.
first collection was based on my 1970s childhood.
Yes,
I had
I
sisters and we
remember.
wore gingham clothes that my mom made, and so it was called Gingham Girls, and that was a fun. And other now I've since done other parts of my life. My most recent collection was inspired by the Albion Basin here in Utah. That's the wildflowers. I love
yeah.
hiking in the mountains here in Utah. So just different parts of my life.
That's
It's been
so
fun to
great.
tell
Yeah.
that story
And
with
you have
those.
another one coming here soon.
I will. In
Yeah.
September. So
And-
this fall.
And what is
Genuine.
this one called?
This is, I haven't, my mom's watching this. She hasn't heard this yet.
Oh,
It's
maybe
called,
it's a secret.
well, she needs to find out. So I was going to tell her sometime. This one is called Mary Catherine, after my mother-in-law and my mom. This collection's inspired by their 1950s. They were born, their 1950s childhoods was inspired by, and they were born on opposite coasts in 1949, just like a few months apart from each
Yeah.
other. And we used my mother-in-law saved her curtains from her childhood bedroom, so we used some of that as the inspiration. It's super cute. I'm really excited
you know
for
what?
it.
That takes a whole different meaning,
Yes,
doesn't
it does.
When we've actually seen it, it's like, you know, but now
Now I
since
know a
now
story
there's
behind
a story
it.
behind
Yeah,
it.
I
Oh
just
my
love their
goodness.
vintage
Yeah.
childhood, you know, those
I love that.
1950s
Yes.
pastels, and it's really cute.
Wow.
I'm excited.
Fun.
Well, another thing that I love about you is that you are not afraid to use other people's fabric either.
Oh,
right?
I love other people's fabric.
And that is exactly what you're going to be doing with
Yep.
us today during theme number 2. You've got a great new pattern of yours that I absolutely love, using a jelly roll from...
This one is from Riley Blake Designs. The designers are Liz and Elizabeth from Simple Simon Company.
Yes.
And it's called, now I hope I'm, Blush and
and
Butterscotch.
Butterscotch.
Okay, good, I got it right.
Blush
I've been
and
called,
Butterscotch.
and it's so cute. It's
It
just
is.
such
I
a
love the
pretty
line.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
on-trend color palette. So
okay.
I'm excited to sew with it today.
Oh, I cannot wait. All right,
Okay.
so make sure that you stick around because theme number 2, we're going to go over to the sewing machine, and Amy's going to give us some of her best tips for sewing with jelly rolls. And theme number 3, she's got a beautiful trunk show you do not want to miss. So we'll be back right after this.
Last week on Three Things Live, we introduced Freedom as the new Stitch Your Story theme for February.
It's an ongoing series where you tell your story to future generations in the quilt blocks you'll make throughout the year.
We talked about the word freedom and what it means to each of us. We shared our Stitch Your Story blocks and how we made them, and we shared some of your stories you've shared with us.
We also had Susan Goldman Rubin, and she shared some highlights from her book, The Quilts of Gee's Bend, a historical overview of the 200 years of quilt making in this African American community.
Join us live every Monday through Wednesday at 1 p.m. Mountain, 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Catch up on last week's show via Facebook and YouTube by clicking the links below.
Three Things Live is where we always have something to make you smile
Something to learn.
and something to discover.
Let's go. My inspiration is a log cabin block. I love using rulers. It's called Log Cabin Trim Tool. You can do a 12-inch finish or you can do a 6-inch finish. First, cut your center square exactly. Make sure that your strips are cut at least a 1.5 inch. I'm going to take my square and I'm going to sew a 1/4 inch seam. Let me trim it. I can take it to my iron and press it open. Okay, so here was the one I just sewed. I'm going to sew another strip. I'm going to trim it. Now I'm going to go back and I'm going to sew my next one. I will center my center square, trim it. I'm going to flip my block, trim it. So there's my perfect square. Okay, there's a little white square here, trim it. Flip my block, trim it. You're not going to trim this last one unless you square it up. It looks really, really good.
All right, welcome back everyone to Three Themes Live. I'm Kris and I'm here with Amy Smart.
Hello again.
Yay! The smart one of the group
No,
today.
it's a
Oh
good
my
name.
goodness.
I can't claim. I inherited it by marriage. Yeah.
It is the perfect name for you, my friend, because you really do know your stuff.
Oh,
and today we're talking jelly rolls.
Yes, so excited when you invited me to come talk about jelly rolls
Yes.
because they're so useful.
They
There's
really
so many
are.
great.
So for someone out there who might not know what a jelly roll is, we probably should explain the term.
Good idea.
Go
Yeah, do you want me to
ahead.
go for it? Okay, so pre-cuts, all different pre-cuts have different standard sizes.
Yes.
And they feature a print from every print in the collection and sometimes two, depending, because I love how they've standardized the number of
Yes.
pieces of fabric that
Yes.
you'll get. So
Yes.
a jelly roll is typically 40 pieces. Is that, am I
Yeah,
remembering that?
sometimes it's
42.
42.
Okay, this one
So
is 40.
between 40 and
42.
42.
Typically
Yeah.
around 40. So it's 40 individual pieces of fabric, and they're cut 2.5 inches wide by the width of the fabric, so from selvage to selvage. So you get a long pre-cut strip, which is so handy to not have to
Yes.
cut all those strips yourself.
Absolutely, yeah.
And then they're so useful because you have such a nice variety of colors. Look how
pretty.
pretty this. So this line's called
Blush and butterscotch.
Blush and Butterscotch.
Oh.
So it's not the prettiest color palette.
Yes,
I love it.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
So one thing to be aware of, and probably most of you already know, they have a pinked edge, which can cause some shedding. And there's a reason
Go
it
ahead
has
and
that.
show that right up here.
Right here?
Yeah.
Perfect. They have this pinked edge to make it so the fabric doesn't fray.
Is that why?
So you're not getting lots of
Okay.
threads and strings.
Yeah,
that
that makes
said,
sense.
you will get a lot of fluff that will come off. So this is one of my favorite tools
yes.
for working with jelly roll. Or some jelly rolls, one company calls it. They also are called roly-polies, or they can have a variety of names.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
so Riley Blake, for example, they call them roly-polies, but it's
Yes.
the same principle. It's the
Yes.
uniform 2.5 inch strip. So one of my favorite tools with using any kind of pre-cuts, but especially these jelly rolls, is a lint roller, because you will get some
Yeah,
lint on
totally
yourself.
agree.
So I like to even just roll it
Oh,
before.
excellent
Look how
idea.
much comes off before I even open it up. It just
my
catches
goodness.
a lot
That's a
of
good
those
idea. Okay.
those little
Yes.
stray, like the last little bits of
Yes,
fluff that
yes.
are there. But you're grateful they're there, so these strips aren't like fraying
Yeah.
as you're using them.
Okay.
So this is the fun part.
Yeah.
I'm going to open this one up and let you look at it. Is that okay?
Yes. Yes,
Well, maybe.
I'll
I'm
be
just pull
taking
it
that
up.
one home.
Okay. And I know you guys just got these. I mean, this is like
We
a brand new
did.
collection.
Yes,
so
it's
It
gorgeous.
just came out in February. Look how pretty these colors are. So I'm going to talk a little bit about how to use your jelly rolls
Okay.
to really show them off, but show kind of a fun alternative. You know, there's lots of ways to sew 2.5 inch strips together, and I'll show you a couple other quilts.
Okay.
But this is one that I love because it changes the look of those strips a little bit.
Absolutely. So show us the pattern that we're going to be working
So
with
this
today.
is the pattern. This is called a Bushel and a Peck. And these are, and here, I'll just pull this quilt over so you can kind of
Yes.
see
Oh, this
what
is
we're
so
making
cute.
with these. Isn't that so pretty?
Yes.
How we can just create this really scrappy looking quilt. I
my
didn't have to go buy lots of
goodness.
yardage. It was all from the jelly rolls, and then
Yes.
some background
Excellent
yardage
idea.
to show those off.
This would be such a darling little girl's quilt.
That's what I was thinking too.
Oh, I
So
love
pretty.
it.
My daughter was at our house last night. She was eyeing it. So the pattern actually comes in multiple sizes. It's available in throw, a crib. This is a crib size quilt here, but you can also go up to twin, queen, and king.
I
and it will
love
tell you
that
how
you do
many
that.
2.5-inch pre-cut strips
That's
you need.
perfect.
So it's a good versatile, and
Yes.
because we're using strip piecing, it comes together really quickly.
Okay,
So
show us
that's-
how this is done.
So, the first thing I recommend before you, and I'll just use these strips right here that I've already pulled out.
Okay.
So we won't disturb this. You can take it home and break it open fresh.
That's right.
The first thing I do when I'm going to sew with pre-cut strips or squares, any pre-cut, because different manufacturers might cut them just slightly different.
Yeah.
You want to know what the actual width of the strip is because of
Yes.
these pinked edges. So I always measure.
Yeah, but you can't always just plan on it from
Exactly.
corner to corner or from edge to edge. You really do need
You
to
want to
take this step,
pre-measure,
extra
just
step.
and it just takes a quick.
Yeah.
It's a quick step.
Yeah.
But then you'll know whether the edge you want to line up with your
Are you sewing from the
presser.
outside
Yes,
or the inside
exactly.
of it?
Is it the peak of the pink or the valley? So
Exactly.
I just use my ruler, just bring the ruler over and line up. And on this one, I don't know if you can see, it looks like it's the peak.
Okay.
The peak is the
So when I go to sew this, I need to line my presser foot up against the peak.
Yes.
Okay, got
yeah.
it.
So that's just a good quick rule of thumb.
Yes.
But with any pre-cuts, just make sure you know exactly
Yeah.
what edge you want to be working
I
with.
love that. Okay.
And then with this project, I like to pull out my strips and make a match or kind of play with scale and color so I get a good variety.
Okay.
We're going to be making strip sets of 4 2.5-inch strips each.
Okay.
And that's the basis of the block.
Okay.
So I like to, and I've already started sewing them together,
Oh,
just
I
so you
love that.
can.
Yes. Okay, so when we
Okay.
talk strip sets, we're talking about 2 pieces that are sewn together, 1/4-inch seam allowance,
Yes.
all the way down. Okay.
And I'm going to end up sewing 4 strips together to make a
To make-
variety.
Oh,
So
okay. So
for
this, the 2 and the 2
The
are
two
going
and
to
the two
actually
are gonna
become
be
one.
mhm.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Good question
Okay.
and clarification.
Okay.
And so I want to make sure it's a variety of colors. I think you can see. And I'm here. I
Yes.
have different colors that, and different prints, different scales of, like I put one of the busy prints next
Sure.
to one of the more of the blenders. That creates contrast and
Yeah.
interest and helps the scrappy look kind of flow.
Yes,
throughout
I
the
love
quilt.
that. Okay.
So I start with sets of 4, and I'll just lay out I'll take the number of strips I need for the blocks for this quilt, divide it into 4s, and lay out sets of 4s, and then I can really mix and match
yeah.
which colors, make sure there's a variety of color, variety of scale,
Right.
like florals and stripes, things like that. So it's not all
Love
one
it.
floral, all's one floral, and one's all, So then before I even start sewing together, I will lay out the number of blocks I'm going to
Okay.
make. So that's
Sounds
a
good.
tip just to help you get a
Yes.
good variety
I like that.
in your piecing.
I love that.
Okay, and then, so I've sewn it, what I'm going to create is a set of 4 and then fold it in half. So I sew 2 together, and then we're just gonna put them right sides together
Okay.
and sew down one side and the other. I'm gonna create kind of a tube. So
Oh,
I'll
a
let you
tube.
sew
Okay.
the 2 sides, and I'll
Ooh.
demonstrate with what we're doing next. I've got a set ready to
Okay,
go.
Let me
Where-
get my 1/4-inch set up. Here we go. All right.
Okay, while you're sewing,
Ooh, all right,
I'll
fun.
demonstrate. So can you see that this is like a little tube that's put
Yeah.
together? I've got those 2 sets sewn, and they're flat right now because we're gonna cut this. And I will recommend, I already did it with this set, I have my seams pressed opposite directions. so that they nest together and create like a really flat tube, because we're next going to cut. So, and if we don't have time to sew all that together, I can just demo.
Yeah,
with
let's
this.
go ahead and demo
Okay.
because I ran out of thread.
Oh,
So, you
that's
know,
okay.
it's fine.
We're prepared.
It's fine, but you
Okay.
can see right here that all
That's-
4 have been sewn together.
the 4, and then you would put them right side. So
Okay.
it would end up like this.
Love
This
it.
is how it would end up. Okay. Now we're going to cut this on an angle. And this is how, by strip piecing, we save so many steps. So instead of cutting these little pieces and big
Yeah.
pieces, I'm going to sew it all together and then just cut it
I love that.
once.
I love
And I
that.
think I brought, yep, I did. I'm going to grab a couple extra rulers so I can show you a variety of ways to do this.
Okay.
Depending on what ruler you have available at home.
Okay.
So if you have a long straight root like this, typically it's like typically 6 by 18, or
Sure.
no, 6 by 24,
24.
sorry. This is a really standard, and this would work. You want to find the 45-degree line. Most of these rulers have that.
Yes, they do.
And so that is going to be your friend with
Okay.
cutting these. Because we're going to cut some diagonal cuts across this tube.
Yes.
And we want to make sure those are right angles when we open it up.
Right.
So you need that 45-degree line, and I will.
And are we lining up against the edge or against the
For
seam?
the first cut, you're going to line it up on the seam.
Okay.
Because you want that to be straight. So here, let's see if you can. Well, let's kind of push these things out of our way. Okay. So if you can see carefully, thanks. That 45-degree line is right on my stitch
On
seam.
the stitch seam. Okay.
And I will make my, but we want it to be close to the selvage edge.
Right.
So
because you need to make sure and
we're
get
going to
as much
cut
as you can.
We're going to actually cut 8 of these blocks
Wow.
out of this strip set.
Okay.
So I'll just make my first cut like that.
I mean, there's so little waste on
There's
this,
so
too.
little waste. This is such
Yeah.
a great one for, and then I can just use the right angles
Oh, yeah.
of the ruler and just
Oh, that makes total sense.
keep going. Once I've
Okay.
found that perfect 45-degree cut, then I'm just cutting right angles.
Oh, that's perfect. So something like this, it might be easier to have a smaller ruler, right?
Yes, so let's
that you
demo with
don't
a
have
stroller.
to
That's if you
fiddle with
don't
that.
have I love the square ruler, especially for this. I'm going to flip it this way. You can flip, it's easier to flip the fabric than to flip the ruler.
Ah,
So I
yes.
will just, when I'm going to make my next cut, just flip over.
Good idea.
And this, using a square ruler, this is so much easier.
Oh,
so
yeah.
good point.
You don't have that long piece.
Yes, so if
in
you
your way.
have this is what I recommend.
Okay.
You might in your tools have a right angled triangle ruler.
Yeah,
that
that's
works really
true.
well too.
Yeah.
We just want to make sure to keep this line, and usually the first few cuts are fine. Maybe by the third I would check that
Just
45-degree
kinda even
angle
it up
again. Yep.
Okay. Love that.
But make sure the point,
Uh-huh.
in order to get the right number of blocks,
Uh-huh.
keep the point right at the tip of your top edge.
Okay.
And so then we're just cutting, and we'll just cut
This looks
multiple.
so easy.
Isn't this fun? It's super
Yes.
easy. And then watch how this just
Oh my goodness.
pops open,
Yes, I love that.
and you get 2 different looks from that tube.
Yes, I love that. Okay.
Isn't that fun?
Yes.
And then as you make more,
You're going to get a
you're
variety.
going to get the bigger variety. And that's
Okay.
how, and then the pattern has instructions about how to square them up.
Yes.
How to, and pressing instructions will be important. So you will probably be repressing some seams to get everything to lie the right direction so the blocks piece together well, but it's super easy.
Yeah.
It's just such a fun one for, here, I'll bring this back. So you can see where
So cute.
these blocks are
Oh,
going to come from.
yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
And then as we mix and match and sew them together,
Oh my gosh.
you get a really fun scrappy
okay,
block.
That's adorable.
Isn't that
oh
fun?
my goodness.
There's so many fun ways. We
I
tend
love
to think
this.
of the strips as like little squares or rectangles, but here's a
Yes,
fun
but
way
this-
to
you kind
turn
of-
them into triangles.
And you've created this look of a circle, but like a piece circle, which is so cool.
Without having to individually piece
Exactly.
all these little pieces.
Okay,
So it's a
brilliant.
great, fast
Brilliant.
project.
Oh my
Super
goodness.
fun.
And because you're using the jelly roll, it's pre-cut already.
It's pre-cut.
You've taken half the work out of it for you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. And one jelly roll will make a throw size quilt. So you can
Okay.
get a throw size. I've also got 2 crib size quilts out of a jelly roll.
Nice.
So it's
So if you want to go larger, you're going to get multiple jelly rolls.
yeah, yes. You will
Okay.
need multiple if you're going bigger than a throw.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, that's great to
But
know.
it's a great one for making a quick baby quilt,
Yes.
baby gift, a crib size quilt.
I mean, I could see this going together so fast.
It can
oh
together
my
really
goodness.
quick. Yeah.
I love it. And the other thing I love is you really don't have a ton of matching points that you have to worry about.
No, not
either,
really. And
right?
just by the way that you'll repress these,
Yeah.
it'll help lock those seams. Like so the places where it does kind of intersect, they match up really easily.
Wow. Okay.
It's
wow.
a good. It's
This
a
is
great
fun.
one if you want to build confidence in a new skill.
Yes.
I highly recommend this one.
Okay,
It's
remind
really
us
fun.
of the name of the pattern again.
So the pattern is called a Bushel and a Peck.
Cute.
I will show you.
That wouldn't
we'll show, I have
that
another
wouldn't
version
be
we'll show in the
named
trunk show.
after mom or grandma, would it?
It was part of an earlier collection that had a lot of apple prints in it, so
Oh,
that's
cute.
where it came from.
Okay,
But,
that's adorable.
Just a fun way to gather.
I love it, and I love how you have, done your sashing in between with the cornerstones. Very, very
And
nice.
that's another, for example, for this one, let's spread the whole thing out.
Ooh, let's do. Oh, that is so
You can go really subtle on the
Very
cornerstones to keep it more simple, or you could go really bold. I could have put like this darker brown.
Sure.
Use that, and
Yeah.
then those cornerstones would pop. So again,
They would.
And you can even avoid the cornerstones altogether if you just like the look of the floating
Wow,
balls.
circles. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So many options.
Wow. Okay. My mind is spinning right now because you know what else I see in here? I see pumpkins. I see
Yes.
Christmas
Uh-huh.
ornaments.
Oh, Christmas ornaments
I
would be
see
so
Christmas
cute.
wreaths.
Yeah.
I see like basketballs if you wanted to do a basketball quilt and have it all be in oranges.
Yes.
Pumpkins, apples. I mean,
Yeah.
so many different things that you could do with this depending on what fabric you use.
Yeah. It's a good scrap quilt.
Okay, way fun. All right, Amy, thank you
You're
so much.
welcome.
This was really great. What do you all think? Let us know in the comments, and
Yes, I'd
make
love to
sure
hear.
and give Amy some love in the comments as well, because she is. I always learn something from
Oh,
you.
good.
Always.
Thanks.
And we've been friends for how long? A lot
a long
of years.
time. A long time. Back when you were just
Oh,
it's
my
probably
goodness.
like a long time.
Probably
We've
at
done a
least
lot.
15 years,
Yeah, I think
probably.
so.
I've been able to, follow your journey, which has been so fun for me, and I always learned something new
Oh,
from you.
thanks.
So
Well, thanks for the
yes,
chance to share it.
absolutely. All right. Well, if you thought that was fun, you just wait, because during theme number 3, we're going to be looking at so many cute patterns from Amy Smart. I can't wait. Be sure to stick around. We'll be right back.
Calling all long arm enthusiasts. Come meet up with my girlfriend's quilt shop at the Handy Quilter headquarters in Salt Lake City. Learn from the pros and finally master the long arm quilting machine. If you are thinking of buying a long arm or just need some informed practice, then join us March 5th through the 7th. The pricing for this event is unbeatable, and we'll also be offering discounts on all the needed supplies. So, yeah, you can afford to come. For more information, visit us at mygirlfriendsquiltshop.com or click the link below.
One of the things that Baby Lock is known for on their sewing and embroidery machines is ease of use. Let me show you my 3 top ways that I think the Baby Lock is one of the easiest machines to use. Right here you can see how nice and big the LCD color screen is on the machine. And what makes this even better is the fact that I can actually change the width simply by pressing this button, and I can adjust the length as well. And you can see in real time what it's going to look like. Let's stitch it out. If I take a look at this and want to make some readjustments, I simply can with the ease and touch of a button.
Another favorite feature of mine is the automatic pivoting feature. If I touch this button right here, my presser foot will lift up when I lift up on the pedal. When my foot pedal goes down, the presser foot goes down. Talk about ease of use. I can even automate being able to backstitch and cut my threads at the same time at the beginning and end of my stitches. Automate backstitch and thread cutting. Let's take a look at what's happening under the needle. I'll begin stitching and it will automatically do a backstitch. And now I move forward. When I'm done stitching, all I have to do is quickly tap on the backstitch right here. It will automatically do my backstitch, go forward, cut my threads, and lift my presser foot. You can find your first or next baby lock machine at my girlfriend's quilt shop in Logan, Utah, or mygirlfriendsquiltshop.com.
All right, welcome back to Three Things Live. We've got Jacki back.
Yay, Jacki!
So much. Can I tell you, I cannot wait to make this quilt.
She just had a little granddaughter.
Yes, I did.
and-
My first
Yes.
granddaughter.
What?
With 5 boys.
That's so fun. So you need to make a girly quilt. It's like you get a chance to make a girly quilt.
Isn't that just the
This
sweetest
is-
thing ever?
Isn't
I
it so
love
sweet?
this.
I think the fabric is what just
Oh my goodness.
Amy,
makes
I
it.
just love it, and I love how easy.
Yes.
You made it sound so
good.
simple.
I'm going to show that one more time
So
because
cute.
this is a Bushel and a Peck, and during the transition, Elisa asked, how many jelly rolls would you need for a king or a queen? And that answer
is two.
is 2. Okay.
That's
2
pretty.
Which
jelly
that's
rolls.
such a time saver when
Yes,
you're
it
making a
is.
king or
That's
a queen
huge.
to have that
Yeah.
much of your fabric pre-cut and matched and coordinated. And
Oh, I can't
so
imagine
great.
cutting that many 2.5
that many 2.5 inch strips, like
Exactly.
80 2.5 inch
Yeah.
strips.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And
Okay.
from like 40 different fabrics.
Yes?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
Well,
thank
yeah,
you.
you're going to
Here,
get
and I
such a
brought this is
variety.
another version. This is one I made a few years ago. So I
is
love
so cute.
seeing
Look at the dark background.
how the same pattern looks in different fabrics.
love
And
it.
so
Oh my goodness.
these were a bunch of just light jelly roll strips. I save my jelly roll strips. Like if I only use a certain number in a quilt, I have a box
Oh, that's
where
a
I
good
keep my
idea.
2.5
Cool.
inch strips.
Okay.
And so these were left over from a quilts where I'd used mostly the darker,
I love
brighter
it.
prints. And so I had
So
a lot of
cute.
the light colored prints left over
I love
and
this.
threw them together and used a dark background to make
Yes.
those light prints
I
pop.
love the dark
yes.
background. That
Me
is
too.
really that's
It just
really
gives
neat.
it, and you can see I didn't use cornerstones on this one. Just gives it
Oh,
a
yeah.
different.
I don't think you needed
like,
it
no,
on this one.
yeah.
No.
That's what's okay. That's
Oh my
so
gosh,
fun.
this
Yeah,
is the
isn't that-
cutest block ever.
I
Isn't
love
that
it.
fun?
That- what a
Okay.
So
fun.
save those 2.5 strips. Like keep them in a spot, and then you've got to go to for another jelly roll quilt.
Exactly.
That's
I
a great
love
idea
that.
Yeah.
to save them
Yeah.
and then bring
And if
them
they're all
out.
together, you can just grab them quick and create a new
Wow.
custom
Yeah.
That's
jelly roll.
wonderful.
Okay, so let's start
Okay,
pulling
what else
quilts.
do we
Oh, how
have?
fun! This is actually, you know
Oh,
what?
I love this.
Well, just
I
do it.
love this
Yeah.
quilt so
This,
much.
I do too. Isn't
Well,
this?
I love them all, but I really, I said, how do you say you love? I guess you can say.
Like a favorite child?
I know.
I don't know. You can't.
It's which one are you in the mood
Can't
for
quite
today?
do that. Yeah.
I know. This one. is-
All the patterns I
love
brought
this.
today are pre-cuts friendly because
Okay.
I wanted, since I knew you were focusing on that, I just wanted to give people inspiration of how they can use their favorite pre-cuts.
Oh,
so
my
this is a
goodness.
great quilt for using the 10 by 10 inch pre-cut squares. It's called Brickyard.
Okay.
So sometimes those squares are called layer cakes or 10 inch stackers. There's different companies will have their different
Well,
cuts, but
their
you're
own
looking
names,
for
yeah.
10 by 10 inch pre-cut squares.
Yeah.
And so this is just another fun one for.
Wow. What a great
Using-
way to
I
show
love
off
this.
bigger prints,
Ah,
too.
You know, that's exactly
and
why I
then to see
designed
the
it.
the whole line.
Because a lot of
Which is
those
really fun.
beautiful,
Yes.
and this is another quick one for
This is
showing
so
off a favorite
cute.
collection.
Do you have all different sizes on this one as well?
This one, Oh, yes, yep.
she does.
Yeah.
Crib through king.
Wow. Okay.
It also works with quarter of a yard, so you can get those too.
So you could do either, right? Yardage
Yep.
or
yardage
pre-cuts.
or pre-cut,
Which is
10 and a
great.
half,
Wow.
10 by 10. So again, a good way to get scrappy.
Oh my goodness, I
I
love that.
That's what I love about pre-cuts is the
Let's hold
scrappy.
this up.
I do too.
The scrappy that you get. I'm the worst one to be
Sorry, we're
holding
covering you.
something up. That's okay.
Hi, Jackie, where are you?
There she is.
Like I'm behind here. That's so
But
cute.
love that.
it gives it some movement, the way they're offset, and things like that.
That's
So it's-
very, very
The
fun.
quilting is really cute too.
Isn't
I
that
saw
fun,
it firsthand
quilting?
on the back
Oh,
side.
it's so
awesome.
like I'm up close.
Yeah, it was great.
Will you give us a play-by-play on the
It's
back
so
side of
cute.
each of these
so
quilts?
Cute. And I love the color she used too.
Okay, so this quilt is.
Jackie, this screams you.
I know.
This was
it
one of
does.
my previous fabric collections, so sadly it's not available. But you can find lots of
cute.
similar things.
Yes.
Oh, that's
And
so
this
cute.
quilt is called Fraulein, and this is also strip pieced, so it's a great time saver. It works for jelly rolls or 10 by 10 inch pre-cut layer cakes. You can use either one. So if you have a jelly roll you want to use that, let's see.
cute.
Yep, that one right
This
there.
one right here. So cute.
Now, pronounce that for us.
Fräulein.
Fraulein. It's
Okay.
German.
Okay, yeah,
German.
said.
Yep. And this
Wow.
one is also available crib through King. And it will tell you what to get with the if you're using pre-cuts, or you can get yardage, but it's a great one for using.
That is great.
Okay,
I love this one.
Oh, I love the
thank
Baptist
you.
bands on
I
that
know,
too.
don't you love a Baptist fan? They just know how to
yes,
quilting.
yes.
This one is such a traditional
So
looking
cute.
quilt. I wanted a traditional,
No,
some
I
traditional
love it.
quilting.
Yes.
And these are my colors.
Are they?
Oh, and the back
Yes.
is so cute. Let's hang it. We gotta
see the
show
back?
how cute the back is. She's pieced
Because
the back,
she's
actually.
pieced
Oh, I
it.
just used
She's made it.
Look at that.
That's
yard.
really
I
fun.
think 1 year. Oh, I can't
Jackie,
remember.
tell us about the front of the quilt.
I know. Awesome. I love that.
That's beautiful.
Yes, I love that. That is
And
sew
while
it
you're
out
holding
again.
that, I will grab, I have brought this one in another color palette too.
Oh.
Just to, again, just show you the different looks.
The quilting is beautiful in this one.
So this was like a Christmas
Oh my goodness.
line. I took some favorite, this one was more scrappy. I
Okay.
took some favorite Christmas prints and then
Let's
pulled
show
from my stash. So
These
you
kind
can
of side by
see
side.
Yeah.
how different it looks based on using
I
a
love-
dark
I love the
background.
dark
Isn't that
backgrounds.
beautiful?
Yes.
This
I really do.
It's a Christmas quilt, but I leave it out all winter because
Yeah.
it
doesn't scream Christmas.
It doesn't scream Christmas, yeah.
To me at all.
Yeah,
Oh.
and I put flannel on the back of this one just to.
I bet this is
Oh,
fun to
you
It's a
got
good
to.
cozy snuggle quilt.
Oh,
and
my
the
goodness.
quilting
Yeah.
is really cute. I love the plaid on the back.
I know it's not fun.
Oh,
So
I
just
love
to give
it.
you a
It's
look
really
at
cool.
what
Wow.
different looks.
How-
Okay,
Yes.
so that one again.
Fräulein.
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 Okay, let's
I'll
make
get
sure
some
everyone
German.
sees that.
Yeah,
German,
your German sounds good.
Fräulein.
Yeah,
Well, my husband's family's German.
That's right.
perfect. You were the perfect one to
No, I don't
read the name.
He might be able to.
be in.
Yes.
So this is.
Yeah,
Yes,
I remember
we had this.
So it's really,
Oh
really
my
fun.
goodness.
Thank you.
I
And
love
again,
that.
like this quilt is one jelly roll.
One
Plus-
jelly roll?
One jelly roll plus the two
The background.
backgrounds.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
You know
another
how
good
cute
one.
This would be in like school colors.
Oh, it'd be
Yes.
so cute.
or
I've-
something.
The
if you were
original one
doing
I
it.
did in solids.
Oh, that's
so you can
cute.
see
Look at how
like
that
how different it
changed.
looks,
Yeah.
how much more modern
Yes.
it looks with.
Oh my goodness.
This one would be perfect for school colors.
Yes,
Yeah.
it
This
would.
really would be fun. I could see that.
Wow. And I mean, I'm looking at this and going, okay, half square triangle, half square
Yeah.
triangle. I
And
mean,
I have a great method for making, because these half square triangles are all just two fabrics.
Yeah.
I have a method for making multiple half square triangles at once.
Oh.
So it's
and
a
I
good
bet
time
it's in the
saver.
pattern.
Is it in the
It's in the
pattern on
pattern.
how to do
Oh
that?
my
Yeah.
goodness.
That's great.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do
Oh, very
such a good job of your
I
instructions.
love the
and-
shortcuts in case.
Well, it makes it
They're
more
my
fun.
favorite. I want to get that
Okay, let's
quilt
hold
done
this
and get
one
on to the
up.
next
Yeah,
fabric.
Well, and the backs are
exactly.
so tedious too.
Yeah.
If you're you don't want to spend time cutting or sewing.
That. Oh,
Cute.
that is
Oh, the
so
back is so
pretty.
cute on this one too. I love it.
We have a plaid
It's
on the
so
back of
cute.
this
The
one.
back, and the quilting is darling. And
Isn't that cute?
flowers.
These big daisies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah, I
that
love
is
this one.
so pretty.
I love it.
You can see the one on the front is kind of the brights.
Yes.
And so I like doing it a little more subtle. I
little
mean, there's
more
so much
subtle, yeah.
variation.
So fun.
Exactly.
I'm going to just show this one because I forgot the quilt, but I know you'll have the pattern, so I'll
Yes.
share it. This is another great layer cake quilt.
It's really cute.
It's a good one. It also includes strip piecing. It's called Prep School Picnic. And again, it has throw, twin, queen, and king. And it's a great one for those pre-cut 10 by 10 inch squares.
I love that.
If
That's
you-
really
another
cute,
just kind of
too.
a simple,
Yeah.
simple design.
I love it. And
Yeah.
that's what makes, I love simplicity.
I do too.
Don't you?
I kind of love simplicity too.
And because you can, it showcases the fabrics.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you want
Yep.
to do that with
Yes.
all of these
I
Some
love
of them
that.
are so pretty. That,
Wow.
Okay, let's show this last one.
Okay.
This
Oh,
I
one
love
is
this
on the wall. Should we head over to the wall?
Yes.
I've actually made
Oh,
this
here.
one.
We're already
Oh,
here.
here we go.
I can
Oh,
be Vanna.
That's darling.
This
at
quilt is
that.
called Craftsman. And because it was inspired by craftsman style windows, like on craftsman style houses. And so this quilt is great for fat quarters. It's great for showing the large scale prints. And so if you have that favorite fat quarter bundle that you've just been like, I need to use this, but I want the prints to,
Right, you don't
want
wanna
to
do
cut them up
Yes.
too small. This one is perfect.
I love it.
And this
looks
is
like
a
it would
brand
go
new fabric
fast.
collection from Riley Blake that just came out this month too.
That's cute.
It's
So,
vintage
and I think we will
gorgeous.
have this
Vintage
one.
chart. Yeah, we will.
We do,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's
this is my
beautiful.
most popular pattern.
Really?
Isn't that so interesting? Yeah,
It
I
works
think
up
people
really
love the
easy.
simplicity.
Yes.
Because I love it.
Yeah.
I've actually made this one, and
Have you really?
I have, and I really like it.
And Fern said she's made this one too.
Oh,
Yeah.
awesome. I love when
Yeah.
people send me
I
pictures they've made. I've
know.
seen people make this one and embroider names or like it's
Oh,
for a
that's a
baby.
great
It's such
idea.
because it's another big
That
space,
would be
perfect
a-
for machine embroidery.
Yeah,
Yeah.
such a great canvas
would
for those
be.
kinds of things. So this one,
be fun.
again, let's take a closer look at the pattern. It's called Craftsman.
Oh, that's
Craftsman
so
is the name
fun.
of it.
Cute.
Wow.
And that one also. That
one?
one you have a throw and a
And a
crib.
crib.
That's a pretty big throw.
It is a big throw. So
So,
it's,
what
I don't
the
remember off the
size?
top of my head, 77 by 90. So
Okay.
if you added
Oh,
a slightly
wow.
That
wider
is
border,
like-
it could be a twin.
Yeah, I said
Yeah,
that's
it
Yeah.
could.
pretty big.
Yep.
That is.
Darling. I love it.
Roxana said that she loves to have quilts for fabrics that are too cute to cut.
There you
There,
go.
this is
That's
their
a good way
quilt.
to do
You're
it.
not
That's a good
alone.
way to
This
do it.
is so many people feel that way,
Uh-huh.
and that's why this one was
And
designed.
I just
like
like
this.
things that are fast and easy and I can get
And
done.
they look
Oh,
hard.
Yeah.
I mean, it does
But
with
it's-
all of that sashing in between.
Oh my
But
goodness.
it's very simple. And
Very
easy to do.
simple.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jackie.
And no
Yes.
matching points on this
I
one.
know.
Yeah,
There's
so
no
there you
too.
go.
You
It
don't have
was
to match
great.
any.
Yeah.
Worry about cutting off any
Yeah.
tips of stars or anything like that.
Exactly.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's a
Okay,
good beginner.
Jackie, tell
Yes.
us, how do we get these patterns?
All right. Yes, they have them available on our new releases, and we also have the blush and butterscotch jelly roll. This will be your first chance, those of you that are watching today, to
Yes.
get this, because we will
Yay.
feature these on our comments sold on this Wednesday as well.
Okay.
So, but you get first dibs on those.
Yes.
So I'd head over to our website and pick up all of these patterns that we've shown today.
Yeah.
And the jelly
Great.
roll.
And
So-
the jelly roll.
Yeah.
Oh my
So
goodness.
Isn't that fun?
I'm feeling
Pull
a
up
I'm
those
feeling a
pre-cuts
little
and-
hungry now. We're
Now
talking
it's like,
jelly
now we
rolls
need
and
some
layer
dessert.
cakes
Yes.
and all the things.
We didn't have dessert
Well,
first.
guess what? Tomorrow.
I know, but I
Tomorrow,
won't be here
dessert
tomorrow.
first.
All of you have dessert first today.
Tomorrow,
You know.
don't miss. Because we are doing our own version of a layer cake tomorrow.
fun.
Yes, we're doing
Great.
some trifles to start out with.
Ooh, yeah.
And then we've
trifle.
got another fun pattern for you.
Yeah.
So
Be so fun. So
Oh
make
my
sure
goodness.
you eat your dessert first today.
Exactly.
And
And we will have recipes as well for
would be
tomorrow's
great.
show.
Oh, I
So-
love that. That's super fun. I'll
Jelly
tune
roll, I
in.
wasn't quite sure if I could, pull that one
I
off.
can't make a jelly roll at all.
No,
I said
I just
no,
crack the yeah, it doesn't roll.
It doesn't look like a
It's
jelly
not,
roll.
that is not where my skill set lies.
Exactly. But a trifle, you just
Yes.
throw it all in
Oh,
and
so
it looks
good.
great.
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right.
can't go wrong.
Too fun. Well, thank you
It has
so
been-
much.
Thanks so much for having me.
Yes.
It's
loved
so
it.
fun to be here. I have too. It's been so fun to be here
Oh,
today.
wow. Well,
Thanks
we
again.
hope all of you are inspired from what Amy shared today. I know I have been.
Me too.
And this
Yeah.
has been really fun. It kind of gets me in the sewing mood again.
Good.
You know, it just really does. And I think I've got to have every one of those patterns. Who knows when
Yeah,
I'll get them done, but that doesn't matter
I want
one
them all
bit.
as well. So does Laura.
Exactly.
Thanks, Laura.
Oh my goodness. All right, friends. Well, thank you again for being with us. We hope you enjoyed today's show. I hope you just continue to sew.
So like the wind.
Absolutely. And keep doing all the things you love. And we hope to see you again real soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.